Hey guys, it's Maggie and I am back today. I am going to tell you about my new GI doctor and the appointment that I had. It went really well and I'm very encouraged. So yeah, let me tell you a little bit about it. So FYI, as you can probably tell by my voice, I have another little sinus infection. You know, my body just really likes sinus infections. I couldn't tell you why, but I have another one. The only good thing is, since I had sinus surgery April? Was that April? Wow. It is a lot easier for me to clear them, so I am clearing it out. We won't go into too much detail, but unfortunately it makes me sound terrible, so I just have to wait it out. But yeah, a lot of fun. Let's just add that on top of everything else. So I'm gonna do a little background, I guess, of my GI doctor situation, or kind of lack of GI doctor situation, because I did not have one for quite some time. So after college, I don't know how long after college, I finally got connected to a GI doctor at the current hospital that I'm at now. And he was wonderful. I think he was my doctor for 4 or 5 years. Really liked him. He was super helpful to me. And I felt like he provided me really good care. And unfortunately, about a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit more than that, he retired. So I had to find somebody else. And that somebody else wound up being a nurse practitioner, which, you know, I'm fine with. I don't have anything against nurse practitioners. I'm a nurse myself, and I have worked with nurse practitioners before, and I enjoy working with them. They're a lot easier to communicate with, I think. But this person, I think, was fairly new in the field, and I don't think that they had a lot of experience with ostomies, let alone Crohn's disease, because I noticed some problems and only saw that person one time through a telehealth appointment that lasted, I think, 5 minutes. And so I was a little bit frustrated, but it was fine. I wasn't feeling terrible at the time, so I just went with it. No tests were ordered, I don't think. Well, no, I guess I had my scopes under the nurse practitioner. Yeah, I think that's what happened. So I had scopes done, you know, upper and, well, I don't have a colonoscope anymore, but I had an ileoscopy and an endoscopy. And they came back clear. And the doctor that actually did the scopes was somebody that I knew from my previous job. We had been at a conference together and I got to chat with him for a little bit. And so recently, when I started having my high ostomy output and all the issues with, you know, fatigue and nausea, all the fun stuff, I went on to my MyChart app to contact basically whoever would talk to me. I did have a PA covering after the nurse practitioner left, but for whatever reason, I was not able to message them anymore. The only person I was able to message was this doctor that did my scopes. So I messaged them and basically explained the situation. And that's how I was covered just for the last few weeks by this doctor. Now I know I got a lot of comments like, what the heck, why would he do that? No, he was great, he was lovely, and very helpful, but he was not my doctor. He was not meant to be a long-term, you know, solve all the issues kind of person. So I had an actual GI appointment scheduled for March of 2023, and obviously that was a long ways away, and I felt like I'm going downhill fast, and I don't think I can wait till then. So after the doctor that did my scopes got me on the IV fluids and stuff, got me labs, I guess the nurse was able to find a cancellation for the new GI doctor, my actual doctor, and that's how I was able to see them. So I saw them this week, and it went really well. I don't think it's talked about enough that when you see a new doctor, and you have to go through your medical history and figure out, is this like doctor-patient dynamic gonna work? Are we gonna work well together? It's emotional. I get so nervous, and I feel like every time I have that first appointment, I always get choked up at least once explaining my story. I don't know why. I talk about my illness online nonstop, but sometimes I get emotional in it, and yeah, but it went really well. Plus, the drive was a lot better since I was not going into Philly. But he was very nice, and he actually, I don't know if it was a student doctor or maybe somebody who was shadowing to eventually work at the practice. But he had another person come in with him, another doctor, and she was super helpful too. She was throwing out a bunch of ideas, but I basically explained what was happening, that, you know, I've had my ostomy for 13 years, and I haven't been able to pinpoint any changes that I would think would cause the high ostomy output. And if you saw my last video, I told you guys that I had a low iron level and a low iron saturation level. Everything else was normal. Just a few things that people had asked about. Vitamin D was normal, like well within normal. B12 was well within normal. Ferritin level was normal. Hemoglobin, hematocrit, everything was normal except for my iron and my iron saturation. So I explained this to him, and I was like, well, you know, my previous doctor from a few years ago had me on iron supplements for this exact type of blood work. Like, the iron saturation was low and the iron level was low, but I was not anemic. And he had me on iron supplements, and it brought my iron up. So I was like, I was told by the person covering me that they didn't think that I would absorb the iron supplements, but I was like, you know what? I just started taking them anyway just to see if it would make a difference. And then I told him I've been pescatarian for the last 8 years, except for the last couple of weeks. I started eating more meat again, and I feel like it's helped. I feel like it's slowed my GI tract down. And he was like, hey, if that's working, you know, iron supplements, oral iron supplements cause constipation, and for you, that might not be a bad thing. And I was like, yeah, I agree with that. So he's having me continue the iron supplements, so I appreciated him working with me on that, even though, you know, maybe I'm not using it for the right reasons. I might not absorb the iron. Maybe it'll just constipate me, and that'll help. But I was like, you know, I know that there isn't anything that stands out right now. And he said, yeah, I'm kind of stumped by you. It's like, the next step would be getting an MRE. And I said, yep, which I have already scheduled. I'm going to get that at the end of the month, just to make sure that there's no inflammation. But I told him, honestly, I don't think you're going to find any inflammation. This doesn't feel like Crohn's. This feels like just a high output ostomy for who knows what reason, but I don't think it's Crohn's that's causing it. And he was like, I also think that, like, I don't think that you're going to be inflamed. I don't think anything's going to show up on the MRE. So I said, but we'll get it done, because I usually get them done yearly anyway, and I haven't gotten it done for a while, so I'll get that done. I also updated him on my kidneys and stuff, and told him that, you know, I am speaking to my kidney surgeon and getting a few tests done for that, in case somehow that's affecting it. If you're unfamiliar with that, I had a narrow ureter on the right side between my kidney and my bladder. So I had surgery to take out that narrow portion. It's basically like an intestinal resection, except a ureter resection. And we don't know why. He asked, you know why? I said, I don't, but the surgeon found a lot of scar tissue in me. So now that I'm having some twinges kind of on both sides now, I was like, I don't know if it's scar tissue or what, but I told him I'm getting a CT scan actually next week, and a few other tests just to rule that out as well, because, you know, any of this stuff can be connected. If I've got a kidney infection, that could absolutely impact my ostomy output and, you know, nausea levels. When I was going septic with my right kidney, I was throwing up a lot. I kept throwing up I didn't know why, but I was throwing up. So, I told him basically everything I could think of. I told him about the abdominal pain attacks that I had last year that just miraculously went away. I told him I thought it was the avocado that was triggering it, because I was eating a lot of avocado and it seemed to line up. It would happen after that. And I said it didn't seem to be fat content related, because I would eat other fatty foods and be totally fine. It seemed to be avocado in particular. So I told him, since I stopped eating avocado, I haven't had that issue. I even took some of your ideas to him. I said, also, I started Zoloft and Buspar in April. The timing really doesn't match up. He did bring up COVID. I told him I did have COVID at one point. Well, I had it twice, actually. But I said, with the symptoms that I had with that, I did not have any respiratory symptoms. I had a headache and I had fatigue. And it didn't last very long. He said, anything's possible. He didn't really think it was long COVID, but he said, just trying to keep an open mind on what it could possibly be. So, threw everything at him, and he was like, a couple thoughts. Actually, the person that was shadowing had a lot of these thoughts. He said, first, let's check your thyroid. They only checked TSH. It came back normal. I already got it done. I actually got it done with my fluids yesterday, so that came back normal. I didn't expect it to be off. I know that you can do multiple tests for thyroid, which I've had in the past. I've had that checked multiple times in the past. It's always been normal, like all the levels have been normal, so I didn't think the thyroid was going to be the issue. I don't know if you can hear Dixie. She's barking. Why are you barking? I'm trying to film, Dixie. Hi, Dixie. She's at the door. Are you wearing a cow hat? He's wearing a cow hat. I'm updating. So, what was I saying? Oh, what sounds more likely to me, I don't know if it is this or not.
I was just going to ask something about the sandwich.
Yes. I would like a sandwich, please.
Hi, guys.
The thing that seemed more likely to me as a possibility, and again, I don't know if this would be it or not, we didn't talk about getting the test done for it, is small intestine bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO. They asked if I had ever had that before, and I said, honestly, I've never been tested for it, so I could not tell you that. They said some of your symptoms line up, some don't. Like, a lot of people would experience bloating and stuff, and I haven't really had any bloating or anything, but at the same time, when my ostomy output is as high as it is, I don't tend to get bloated because everything just comes out of me super fast. It's like there's nothing in me to bloat. But, I said that's interesting. That is an interesting idea. So, basically, what we're doing is we're continuing on the IV fluids. So I did get them done yesterday. I'm getting them done weekly. And they do definitely improve my overall being. I don't know if any of you guys have experienced this, though, if you get IV fluids. Does it, knock you out afterwards? I get so tired by the end of it that the drive home is rough. And I feel like I'm going to fall asleep on the car ride home. And when I got there yesterday, I was totally awake, ready to go. And by the time they unhooked me from it, I was like, I don't know. I wouldn't expect that to be a symptom of getting IV fluids. I don't know. That was kind of weird, though. So let me know if you guys experienced that. So we're going to continue the IV fluids just until, hopefully things slow down, which I will say, I told the doctor this. My ostomy output is slowing down a little bit. I was having very, watery, syrupy, clear greenish, kind of bile-y looking, which I told him. Said, I can see through it. That was the output I was having multiple times a day. It has slowed. It is still fairly liquid, but it is no longer clear. And I am having moments of more just oatmeal-y soft. So I will take that. That makes me feel better. And I don't know if it's the iron supplements or eating meat again. Some of you guys said that eating red meat does not do well with IBD. I don't know why. I feel like it's helped me. I have had more trouble in the past from what I remember with chicken, but I think it's the type of chicken, because we got chicken, what do we get? Chicken thighs, and that seemed to work really well with me. I don't know, it's like the tougher the meat, the better it is for me. So, I don't know much about meat. Are chicken thighs are they more tough than chicken breasts? I feel like every time I had chicken breasts in the past, it was like, it just didn't sit well with me. But maybe it's the way I cooked it. I have no idea. Right now, I'm kind of in a trial and error stage. I feel like that's how it is constantly with Crohn's or any GI issues. You're constantly trying to figure out what is currently working for you. And to be honest, like, red meat is working. I don't like that it's working. I would prefer other things to work. But it seems to be helping my ostomy output slow. Meaning I'm not losing as much fluid, and hopefully I won't need as much fluid through an IV. I don't know. Life is funny. Well, I'm just doing what I have to do. That's what I keep telling myself, you know, I gotta look out for my health and my nutrition, and if this is what helps, then it's what I have to do. So anyways, that's the update for you. I'm a little bit tired today, although I feel more hydrated, because yesterday was just like a long medical day. I woke up, had to change my ostomy, which obviously I'm used to. That's nothing to me now. And then I had to drive the hour to my infusion, was there for a couple hours, drove home an hour, then I had to do my Humira shot, and by the end of the day I was just like done. And I gave myself a bruise with my Humira. I did it on my belly, and I somehow gave myself a very noticeable bruise. So, kind of ticked about that. Kind of hurts. On the plus side, my forehead is clearing up. I think it might have been a little bit of hormonal acne. I don't know. Never had it like that before. Really enjoy looking like I'm 16 again, but it is what it is. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate your support and just all the nice comments you guys have left me. I'm hoping to get into some more like educational, informational videos for you guys. So if there is anything that you would like to hear about, I'm trying to get more on a regular schedule again. Hopefully, you know, we can get health on track and I can start feeling better and have more time for this, because if I haven't made it clear, I really enjoy YouTube. So, alright guys, I hope that you are feeling great, and I will see you in the next. Bye guys.